Hi, good afternoon. It's Lay-Ean from Go Kids. Today I'm going to do a segment with John Boyne, owner and founder of Australiana Flags in Northbridge since 1986. John?
Yes.
Today, John is actually a vexillographer and is considered to be Australia's leading authority on the design, ethic, protocol, and history of flags. John has been Chief Executive of the Royal Australian Historical Society and was appointed by Sir Colin Hines to help launch the Australia National Flag Association in 1983. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk to John about Australia Day and what does Australia Day means to John. So, John.
Well, Lay-Ean, Australia Day is a very important day. It is the main national day for Australia, and it's the day that we celebrate everything that we enjoy in this country. The fact that we live in a modern society with all the facilities, of roads, of beautiful villages, towns, cities, of all sorts of benefits that we have in this country. So we think back to those who founded modern Australia, and of course it was Governor Arthur Phillip, who was captain of the First Fleet, who raised the first Union flag. That's commonly called a Union Jack, but it's a Union Jack with a bit of a difference. There's one cross in the three-cross design of the modern flag missing, and we have that flag behind us, and you've got to work out which cross is missing.
This one?
It's not there, so you can't see it. But there is a cross of St. Patrick that's missing off the design. So that was the 26th of January 1788, when this flag was raised to claim the Australian continent, or part thereof, for Great Britain and the King. So as a consequence, we've inherited all this land, this continent, at no charge. So we've been extremely lucky. We share this land with the Aborigines and the Torres Strait Islanders. And together we hope we get along and we make an even better place of it as time goes on. So Australia is very, very important because the land we live in is essential for all of us.
Yes.
And so let's make the best of it.
Yep. And John, as we all know, Australia Day is January 26th. We're just going to find out what has been John's involvement with the Australia Day celebration.
Yes, in fact, 26th of January 1788, I wasn't around at that time. However, I was very active in the bicentennial year for Australia Day. That was in 1988. And in 1987, the year before, it was decided there would be a First Fleet reenactment. So there was a descendant of one of the early governors, Jonathan King, and he and his friends got together and they raised the funds to rent sailing ships, some of them similar to the type of sailing ships that were used from 1787 to 1788, because it took so long to sail the ships out from England. And they left a place called Portsmouth, which is near the Isle of Wight in England, and they sailed a very dangerous voyage all the way out to Australia. On board were some convicts, some soldiers, and a great number of Royal Navy men who safely brought the ships to Australia. There were even some free settlers. And of course, when they got to Australia, it was very difficult to establish a settlement and to survive in what was very harsh conditions for them. They weren't used to it. But they very quickly got used to it and managed to use the resources such as the beautiful fish that were so plentiful, still are, around Sydney and these places. And then they explored the countryside, the beautiful timbers they used for building, the stone they cut to actually make their more substantial buildings and the like. And of course, from an early, very rough settlement developed a village, a town, and now the great city of Sydney. So it was a lot of hard work, exceptional hard work, and we have the benefits of all that hard work. So really, to me, Australia Day is a day of thanksgiving. Now, getting back to my involvement in 1988, I designed, as a vexillographer, I designed special flags for the First Fleet reenactment. And I'll show you those flags a little later on.
Okay.
But I also got to meet some wonderful people that really had history, heritage, and the love of Australia in mind. So they decided to spend their own money and then raise other monies to get this fleet to sail from Portsmouth and the Isle of Wight to come all the way back via the original route these ships took 200 years before to get to Sydney. And they did it successfully, just like the First Fleet did. So it was wonderful stuff. But one of the things I did do was to go over to Portsmouth and the Isle of Wight, and I took seeds of native flowers to Ryde, which is the capital of the Isle of Wight. R-Y-D-E, spelt just like we have Ryde here in Sydney, which of course is named after that original place. So those seeds were grown quite successfully. So there's a direct link between the Isle of Wight and Sydney.